Hey, there we go. We are live. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Welcome back to the Cantina. I am nearly incomprehensible, at least visually speaking, here with the backlighting behind me. But thankfully, my better lit friend here is Mr. C. Mr. C, how are you doing today?
I'm feeling my own degree of incomprehensibility over here, and we're just gonna stir it all up and let it ride.
Awesome, awesome. Well, thank you for doing this, Mr. C, and thank you out there for tuning in. There was a few reasons why I wanted to do this one earlier this year. Or I think I'm actually a month ago. So, like a month ago, put out a video about the worst movies of 2023, and that got a lot of attention. Some people had opinions, and normally, Mr. C, we don't have and we try to focus on the positive.
Yep, yep.
And in that particular video, I kind of rolled up the sleeves, and yeah, it was a little different. So in this one, wanted to focus on the top action movies of 2023, or based on folks' comments, based on a survey that we had posted here at the Fanboy Cantina. What did folks answer with? So that's going to be the first part, and then the second part is the most anticipated movies of 2024. So let's go into the comments here. Sarchi, let's
We
go.
can't start unless Chai Star's telling us let's go.
That's right. And then, yes, yeah. And kudos to you, Mr. C, for being more on time than I. So, hey there, AJ Rowland. Yes, yeah, no, I am excited as well. So, very much looking forward to this. And, oh, okay. All right. So let's dive in, and I'm going to put up a graphic here. So, first, yeah, top favorite action movies of 2023. Also, kind of one more thing about setting the stage here. Tomorrow, it's the Oscars, right? So, the annual tradition, the big spectacle, but kind of what you don't see in those top Best Picture nominees is action movies. There's kind of a bias against action movies to a degree, it seems. I mean, certainly, take nothing away from the other nominees, all the nominees, and stuff like that. But there is a place to talk about action movies. I enjoy a good action movie. Mr. C, you love action movies as well. I know here, and
Lifelong, lifetime fan of action movies. I mean, it part of the reason for the big screen is for a big story
yep.
and and big excitement. I mean, that there's nothing wrong with the theater. There's nothing wrong with a play. There's nothing
Hmm.
wrong with a small screen and a nuanced story. But we
Hmm.
want to talk larger than life. We want to talk action across the years. There have been different things highlighted within action movies and different trends. So
Hmm.
as a category of film, I got no fault with that, which is action.
And thank you for giving me time here to pull up my screen here down below.
Oh, is that
So,
what I was doing?
no, yeah, no, it was all seamless. It was all seamless. One more bit about action movies. As I was thinking about my own list, what I struggled with is, well, what you said of these labels that we give films. So, films like Guardians of the Galaxy, and post in the comments if you have an opinion with your opinion on this too. Is Guardians of the Galaxy an action movie, or let's say like what other movie? Oh, Godzilla. Godzilla. I love that movie, but I don't think of it as an action movie. What are your thoughts on the label of action movie?
Some thoughts on the label. Well, let's pull the camera back, if you will, to
Yeah.
considering that which is art, right? So art can
Mhm.
be categorized in different ways, and then movies are a subcategory of art. So some movies are going to slot more directly and purely into one category or another. Let's just cast wide. Let's say the Star Trek motion picture is more
Mhm.
purely sci-fi, but Star Wars is a bit of a hybrid of sci-fi and fantasy. Uh, with a movie which is set during wartime and features soldiers, well, sure, we can call that a war movie, but then there's action in each of these. So another good feature of IMDb, the Internet Movie Database, will list us multiple genres or subgenres in which a movie falls into, by which it can be classified. So now coming back to answer your Guardians of the Galaxy
Mhm.
question, I would say absolutely Guardians would count as action, as superhero, as comedy. Oh, I'm just looking down in the comments and we got Mandarin. Welcome back, Mandarin.
Welcome back, Mandarin. It's great to have you here. Um, yeah, no, and oh, we've got a couple of comments from Chai Sarchi, sci-fi. Yeah, and speaking of action, is the Mandarin in the chat? All right, very good.
Thanks for coming, everybody. We've got Mandarin in the chat. That was all the action we need for the day. But seriously, folks, here we go into the leading into the main part of the
Yeah. So this is what this is. So we've had the survey up in the YouTube community here for the Fanboy Cantina channel. And what's kind of sucky about the platform is you can only have 4 or 5 answers. And so the fifth one ended up being like other and post in the comments if you got another thing. So really we got 4 movies here in the rankings. And so the choices included John Wick 4, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning, Equalizer 3, and Indiana Jones Dial and the Dial of Destiny. I guess the fourth installment of the, right? Wait, fifth? I don't know. Fifth. That's going to be a jerk for a moment of wondering, do you count Crystal Skull in the list? Yeah, I guess it does count. Yeah, I guess it does count. All right, so um, whoa, so we've got Junkyard saying the only action movie I saw in 2023 was John Wick 4, and it was awesome. And Chai Sarji, thank you for coming here. Anyway, all right. So in the rankings, John Wick 4 got 44% of the vote of the favorite action movie of 2023. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning came in second at 29%. Equalizer 3 came in at 17%. And in fourth place was Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny with 6%. Yep. So, and oh, the Mandarin writes, my little bro is obsessed with John Wick. With John Wick, I think this ranking is not surprising to me at all. Um, I really enjoyed John Wick 4. I'm with Mandarin's little brother. I do really enjoy the John Wick franchise, and with this film, I think it put a perfect arc or closure to the John Wick story. There's certainly opportunities for continuing the franchise, but I think where they landed with this film was absolutely wonderful. And then in the other, I'm going to hop over Mission Impossible. Golly, what number is it? 7, 8,
I
9?
lost count.
It does, yeah. I think, yeah, and that's why I'm hopping over it. So without with Indiana Jones, I thought it was a good movie, and I think we did a film review on that. I thought it was a good movie, but certainly Equalizer 3. I'm surprised that one didn't bubble up higher in the scoring. Mr. C, you saw a couple of these films, but let's talk about Equalizer 3. What did you think of that movie?
Well, I was tempted to then just get the spinning wheel and land on Equalizer and then go with Equalizer first or whatever, wherever the spinner landed on. Equalizer 3, the writing, the cinematography, the acting, it's all very high caliber and high quality. But this is also, let me say, last week when I was on my channel and I referred to the Revenge of the Invisible Man as that iteration of the Invisible Man, that revenge-seeking Griffin character. I said it was no holds barred and full tilt. So as much as that was no holds barred and full tilt, you get into this Equalizer picture and it's got some Tarantino level violence and you got a high body count and you got a whole lot of blood and guts and gore and gruesomeness. So I could make the case, and I will sit here and make the case that Equalizer, as I see it, also crossed over into the horror sub
Mm,
genre a bit based on the amount of death and the amount of blood on the screen. That being said, so I was having a mixed bag. I was very engrossed in it, but I was also simultaneously very grossed out by it. Back in the day of seeing Tarantino pictures live at the theater, uh, I was a younger man. I had a different mindset. Uh, so I guess I'm using Tarantino as a frame of reference, but I
mhm.
mean Denzel, from walking on the screen to close credits, you can't get better acting and better just command of the screen than what Denzel Washington did in the Equalizer picture. So again, I'm a bit I wasn't it drove home. So it had an effect on me, right? It wasn't like the blood and guts was just just casually there. It
Mhm.
resonated with me. So a lot of it was enjoyable and a lot of it was making me reel back a bit, but it was a powerful film. It did what it wanted to do.
Yeah, Denzel Washington is 69 years old right now. So probably at the time he filmed this was 68, 67 years old. And he is just in top form still. So captivating, so engrossing every time that he is on the screen, whether it's an action movie or something else, he draws you in. You are he's just a stellar actor. I didn't like the second installment of the Equalizer franchise. That one had Pedro Pascal in it. Um, seemed like a lot happening in the film, and so with this one, I want to say it went back to its roots with the first movie. It's still it's tonally different, but wow, it was such a fun ride, such a fun ride. It reminded me of a western in a way, kind of that, that. Unknown shadowy figure who comes into the small town. It's very much a Western type of film. And yeah, I absolutely loved it. I loved it far more than I had expected, for sure.
Another staple that's in westerns and action movies and in Equalizer 3, there's the conflict dynamic where most typically the villain is has hubris and overconfidence and is confident and says something like you don't know who I am or you don't
Hmm.
know who you're dealing with, and then that becomes who will have the upper hand as the conflict manifests itself.
Hmm.
So every single person that Roberto went up against in Equalizer absolutely had that high stakes hubris. And needless to say, without giving spoilers, it did not end well for them.
I think you could probably imagine as much in this type of film. I think you can kind of anticipate where things will go. And yeah, Edward, I'm assuming this is a reference to the Equalizer TV series. Yet, with the, I guess, three different Equalizer franchises back in the 80s versus the Queen Latifah series versus the Denzel Washington series, they're all very different. There's not much of a continuity between. There's not much in common with the three, but I do enjoy them. I do enjoy them each in their own way. Um, and then, okay, that's all I got for now. And yeah, Denzel is fantastic. Completely agree. Completely agree. So one thing I did want to criticize a little bit. I did not get to see Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning in the theater. I watched it on my TV, on my screen at home. If I were to have seen it in the theater, I think I would have had a better experience. Well, I know I would have had a better experience for sure. The action set pieces are phenomenal, but the reason why it would not be in my number 2 spot, it would be further down on the list, maybe the 4 or 5 spot. Um, I don't think it's as good of a movie. I think in contrast to the trend line, and post in the comments if you've seen all of these Mission Impossible films. I felt like as a franchise, it got better and better with each film. Just progressively better. This one I think is my least favorite, going all the way back to probably the first one. The dialogue is not particularly particularly strong. The cinematography, except for the when it comes to the dialogue pieces, is very bizarre. Nobody ever faces each other. It seems like people are pointing in different ways. There's a lot of exposition in dialogue to get to the narrative. And well, I won't spoil the movie for you, for everybody. But one of the gimmicks is about Haley Atwell as a thief, and there's this whole thing with the disappearing key trick, and in the first couple of moments, it's fine, but when you stretch it all across the movie, it's like a stupid uncle trick. It's like I got your nose, I got your nose. It's just sort of come on. I felt very repetitive. I felt very repetitive. But I think if I saw it in the theater, maybe I would have had a better. I know I would have had a better experience in seeing it on IMAX and watching the spectacular stunts. I know that would have landed better. But as a film, yeah, I don't think it was that great.
Well, and let's take a recent history of the last few Tom Cruise pictures. And again,
Yeah.
by definition, the peak is the peak, and you can't stay at the peak forever. So let's say, and I was almost going to pull over the whiteboard and the markers, but okay. So let's say the Mummy was kind of a low point, and then holding the patience, pandemic. We're waited out. Don't put Maverick on the screen yet. Don't put Maverick on the screen. Way up. So definitely you can't be in that rare air flying that high on a consistent basis. So not a surprise then that we'd have a slight a regression, a drop back down from where the second Maverick picture had landed.
Yep. All good things. The franchise seems to be feeling a little bit of its age here. I will continue to watch the movies. I think there will at least be one more movie coming. So I will watch that. Queen Latifah could do a cameo in the next Equalizer as the Equalizer. Yes, yeah, no, definitely, yep.
Maybe the Queen is what the franchise needs to revitalize a little bit. Maybe so.
I thought it was I do enjoy that series. I do think it's an interesting take with Queen Latifah in the driver's seat for sure as the Equalizer. So just a couple more things before we move to 2024. And if you have other films that you would have added to the list that were not amongst those four, feel free to post them in the comments. I had expected in the survey to hear more films or other films listed. Films that I particularly enjoyed included, this is on Netflix, Ballerina. It's not particularly different. I mean, it's a vendetta movie, a revenge movie, but I thought it was really well done. I really enjoyed this movie. There's another Korean action film called Kill Boksun that is very John Wicky in its approach. I enjoyed that one as well. This movie, Polite Society, was pretty good. The action scenes, the fight scenes are pretty good. The only problem that I have with the movie is that if you watch the trailer, it kind of spoils everything about the movie. So that's really unfortunate and just sort of how they marketed the film. But it is an enjoyable ride. But then lastly, and shout out to my friend Ethan who recommended this movie to me. Guy Ritchie's The Covenant is a fantastic film. This is a fantastic war movie. Kind of flew under my radar. Watched it not that long ago. The story with Jake Gyllenhaal and Dar Salim as American infantryman and or American soldier and the translator in Afghanistan. And I really enjoyed this movie. It's essentially two movies in this in The Covenant, and I really enjoyed it. All right, so flipping back to the comments here. Let's see.
Rich in comments tonight. We're rich in comments tonight.
That's right. So, would you consider D&D movie actions? That was it could be. I guess it could be. I mean, what other label do you fantasy? I guess.
Sure. Again, a multiple genre film. Again, some movies are going to slot purely into just a one. Other movies are going to slot into two, three, four, five subgenres. And I'll say this is frame reference. If the movie was not a bunch of people sitting at the table and playing D&D, which would be less action, then if we're putting it on a continuum of relative scale, then it would be more action. I would say so much so as to consider it a full-on action picture.
Unfortunately, I didn't really like that movie. I did see it with my son. He had a great time. I struggled through that movie. I struggled through that movie. I think if you're deeper into D&D, maybe it resonates better or something. Yeah, it didn't quite land for me. I did like the cameo that happens in the May scene. That was cool. Mission Impossible was the number 6 grossing action movie in 2023. Yes, K-drama, I agree, is can be addicting for sure. Yeah, that's certainly true. And Godzilla -1 was the most reading I've done for 2023. Yeah, yeah, that's right. It's entirely in Japanese, but it's such a great film. It's such a great film. I that one is really up there. But you see, I don't think of it as really being that. It doesn't have that much action in it. There's a lot of story that's happening, a lot of with the kaiju kind of franchise, the humans are the side thing that kind of chews up time. It's like, was it Perry Mason? That's not Perry Mason. What's the dude's name? Oh man, what's the dude?
The
It's
actor,
yes,
Perry Mason,
yes,
Raymond Burr.
Raymond Burr. That's because we're talking about Sven in like 38 minutes. So yeah, he got so he's sort of like Raymond Burr is just sort of chewing up time. And when you really only want to see the monster, you only want to see Godzilla. In this case, I really appreciated both stories, both the Godzilla as well as the humans. All right, and then other comments. Yeah, Super Mario's Brothers #1 grossing. See, I can't think. See, that's an animated film. I
But it's
guess.
me, Mario.
Yeah, I'll be honest, I have not seen it just yet. I have heard the Peaches song. I've got that part. But yeah, all right, okay, okay, all right. So let's move forward here and talk about, because we do need to prep. Just let's seed it right now, Mr. C. I made reference to what we're doing in 37 minutes. What are we doing in 37 minutes? Mr.
Well,
C?
this is kind of a back-to-back night here. This is a double feature as we are here now live on the Fanboy Cantina. As of let's see, yeah. Once we enter the next hour, at the top of the hour, if you will, we'll jump over, and everybody's invited to come to the second of the double features. We're gonna do our annual Svengoolie birthday. We're stretching from our base a little bit in that. Again, the first ever Svengoolie birthday we did right here on Fanboy Cantina, and last year we started to recognize the birthday of Rich Coase on the Mr. C Dives In channel. So we'll repeat that as we are approaching Rich Coase's birthday just in a few short days, and we're gonna try to make with the attempted humor a little bit, and then see what sticks and where we land.
Awesome. So Mr. C Dives In, you can watch on YouTube, and yeah, join us over there in a few moments. But we're not done here, because now let's shift gears, talking about the most anticipated 2024 action movies. I'm probably missing a preposition or something in that title, but anyways, let's go with that. So also same deal. We posted a survey on the YouTube community, and we had several different titles there, and I'm going to pull up the graphic. Among them included Deadpool and Wolverine, Dune Part 2, Furiosa, Gladiator 2, and other the ever popular other categories. So I'm going to show the four that the top four that got listed, As soon as I find the right graphic.
Well, while you're calling for the graphic, let me take a second to say how fitting the junkyard calls for who we're going to call. Here comes Mandarin. I'm having to because I'm having fun, pal. I'm having fun. It's great to have you around. And I'll take this minute to recognize Mandarin. So you've remained consistent in your image right there. I haven't seen it change, but now Junkyard's doing a Houdini bit here. He's hiding out. So one time Junkyard's got Victory Auto Wreckers. Next time he's got something different. Now he's got a Ghostbuster. So it remains a good guessing game how Junkyard is being elusive with his photo to go with his on-screen moniker. It's a good time. You want me
So
to
thank
keep
you.
going?
Thank you for that. That was my hand in the live stream there. So that was really great.
I mean, I see. I got the giggles and I got excited. I thought we were going a third option
Yeah,
here to bring up the
no.
graphic.
Yeah, not that sophisticated here. All right, so here we go. Okay, so this is the graph. There it is. I had it already. Okay, so oh, I gotta wait. No, hold on. All right, we're good. All right, so um, in the rankings, we've got Deadpool first at, oh golly, at 43%, and then Gladiator 2 at 24%, and third place it's Dune Part 2, and then in fourth place it is Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, and I have no idea how to count that one. Is it the fourth or fifth? Like, do you count the,
Oh boy, if
what are you going to call one?
if counting the indie franchise was already complicated, then counting entries into the Ghostbusters franchise is even more so complicated. So let's just say the pending, the future, the current, the upcoming.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, just reflecting on the list, it's hard to know, right? It's really hard to know. It's convenient that we're familiar with these films, right? Already, they are all sequels here. All of them are sequels, for sure. So that's a nice, convenient crutch. It's easy to look forward to them. But haven't heard anything in terms of like brand new action films that are particularly interesting. The one about, what is it? Ungentlemanly Warfare or Tactics. That one looks pretty good with Henry Cavill. That one is a new film. But yeah, certainly having the familiarity of these franchises makes it easy to look forward to them. All right, so in the comments here, yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine agree with that. And what is it? Ryan Reynolds is dreaming. Yes, yes, I would agree with that. I mean, okay, sure, why not? To each their own. And yes, that, no, seriously, that, my apologies, that was my hand. I was trying to figure out an easy way to get up the picture and use my other device to do that. All right, and so let's talk about Gladiator. I haven't seen anything in terms of, promos or posters. I believe Pedro Pascal is supposed to be starring in the film. I sure hope Russell Crowe is not in the movie. That would be really, really bad.
The magic 8 ball, shake the magic 8 ball, and the little diamond triangle is going to come and say indicators, however it says it. We're not anticipating to see Crow on the screen for this one.
No, that would make not a lot of sense. And then, well, Dune Part 2 is already out, and we have a video on this channel with a review. I completely enjoyed that movie. I really enjoyed that movie. I did not enjoy Dune Part 1 that much, but now with Dune Part 2 in hand, really enjoy now both films side by side. Just a wonderful achievement in cinema. And then Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, I think, is just 2 weeks out from now, less than 2 weeks out. So definitely looking forward to that film. Yes, Russell Crowe Yeah, I mean, this film, the Gladiator 1 is what, from the 90s, right? I think it's from the 90s. So, yeah.
It might have been 2000 spot on, but it was late 90s or early 2000 either way. And for the little bit of homework I did towards that, I was just from time to time, it would come up across these 20 plus years, and Crow would be asked if he knew anything about a sequel. And he would
Mhm.
say, oh, well, I'd like to find a way to do it, but, I don't know what would come to pass. And then eventually he received word that Pedro was cast as the lead. And I see. So again, it was not a fantasy film. It was supposed to be a more historical piece where you
Mhm.
don't have an Obi-Wan, you don't have a Force Ghost element coming around. Now, in that first Gladiator movie, you did have Oliver Reed as an older character, a side character, supporting character who had a piece of mentoring for a short time in the film to Maximus. So maybe there was a way to make it happen, but again, then you've crossed over into a completely different genre than where the initial picture came from. So I could see why there would be reasons not to genre jump, if you will.
Yep. I think it may have been Oliver Reed's last film.
I
I'm
believe
not.
it was.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. In the comments here, yeah. So, Bad Boys 4, is Will Smith in it? He's been canceled since the. Yeah, I guess it's been a year since the slap heard around the world. Yes, Will Smith is supposed to be in it, and yes, yeah, no, he's what a missed opportunity, right? You've got Bad Boys 2, Bad Boys for Life, and now Bad Boys 4. Like, could they
I'd like
not have tapped the brakes of, yeah,
I'd
with
like
the
to make a
tool?
dark horse prediction here.
Uh-huh.
Prior to that Bad Boys franchise, earlier release, there was a different Bad Boys picture where Sean Penn was involved, and Sean Penn was a way younger man at that time. So I'm thinking now we're going to have, as we have now, the Fox universe entering the Marvel verse, and we have Deadpool coming together with Wolverine. I predict we're going to see Sean Penn in Bad Boys 4 in the top billed role.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll. I don't know if that's one that you want to bet money on there, Mr. C, but it would be something to see. It would be something to see. Yeah. Um, so at the bottom of the list in the 5% category was Furiosa. And so that is Anya Taylor Joy as Furiosa, kind of the prequel to Mad Max Fury Road, and the role played by Charlize Theron, if I'm not mistaken there. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that movie. Very much looking forward to that movie.
I didn't know much about it, but again, in the way that sometimes you have your Rocky franchise and a lot of years pass, and
Hmm.
then you have Creed. So as had we in the past the Mad Max franchise, now to come back and have a generation later to the character of Furiosa, it's got me interested. This on Anya Taylor Joy, I
Yep.
first learned of her in relation to the New Mutants movie,
Oh, yeah.
which was all just it seems that she is on the rise in her career. And from the trailer, she brought it, she brought her chops, she's ready to go. So that makes me curious and interested. And it's been a long time since those movie lines were in our lexicon. Two men enter, one man leave. And it's I think they're out there with the voice box. That was a well quoted movie around the neighborhood, around the swim pool at the time. So it'd be interesting both to see the film and then to see what gets carried out into pop culture. I want to just give a quick tangent and for deep cuts for Mandarin. So within, as far as movie quotes, within the Sean Penn Bad Boys, it was like the juvenile detention place, and I think it's 40%, but I don't remember the exact percent. But for the cigarette money, so there was a title then within the juvenile detention of Barn Boss, and Barn Boss would get 40. I think it was 40% of the cigarette action. But I'm just saying that is a worthy of a revisit. Sean Penn in the prior Bad Boys release.
Very nice, very nice. And yeah, Okay, so let me some facts. I did watch the movie, and so I wondered, do you put this as an action movie? I think Fast and Furious franchise is absolutely in the action movie category, but that most recent movie, Fast X, I think is a hot mess. I think it is just a certain movies in the franchise really really great. Other movies less so, and this was definitely in the what the f is this movie. It was just a messy movie. um Probably too much Diesel, like trying to manipulate the story. It just it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate, and it gets me less interested in seeing. I think the next movie is supposed to be the final episode with Vin Diesel in it at least. And yeah, I will still see it, just not looking forward to it as much. Um, all right, so let's get to other comments. Yeah, somehow I thought it was Yoda with a Hawaiian shirt in the back.
Hence, I adjusted the camera. We know
Yep.
that's Frankenstein. This is the Doug Horn, Horne, Doug Horn. Check your Etsy, check your Doug Horn art on your Googles if you want to find your way to the most of these background images here.
Yeah. No, that's a great one. That's a really great one. Yeah. No, it's good. It's good stuff. So not in the list. I'm also looking forward to the Old Guard 2. So the Old Guard is on Netflix. The first film is on Netflix. Also stars Charlize Theron as the main character. And yeah, I really enjoy that movie. I really enjoy that movie. It is based on a graphic novel. So I'm looking forward to the continuation of that story. Absolutely. And in the comments, yeah, I don't know about that. Could the Police Academy franchise exist today with today's caliber, humor, and sensitivities? I don't know.
I don't know, but if there was a way to re-kickstart that genre, that would be. And again, maybe this isn't the right time, but
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty sweet if there was a way to bring back that into that Airplane Police Academy. Slight bit of crossover with your Mel Brooks business and your Young Frankenstein business, but yeah, that when it works so very well.
Yeah. No, definitely, definitely. And yeah, yeah. And do original streaming movies count? See, I think they do. I think they do. I think they count. I don't know how to necessarily understand the difference. Prey, directed by Dan Trachtenberg, as the latest or the latest installment of the Predator franchise, I thought was an amazing movie. I thought that was one of my favorite movies 2 years ago. But I think it got an Emmy nomination because it just gets counted differently. It doesn't fall in the Academy list. No, Michael Winslow was on America's Got Talent not too long ago. So that's cool. That's cool.
And thanks to Junkyard for pulling that deep cut pull right there.
Yeah. All right. So, well, if you're watching later, if you've got thoughts on your favorite movies of 2023, favorite action movies of 2023, post in the comments. Would love to continue the conversation. If you've got future movies in 2024 that you're looking forward to, would love to continue the conversation. So post them down there. Me and Mr. C would be happy to continue the chat. Mr. C, any closing thoughts about 2024 or 2023?
Well, stay tuned and find out. Will we be in the exact same outfits that we're in right now, or will we be in something different? There's only one way to find out, and that is select up on the Mr. C dives in once we strike the top of the hour at the 5 o'clock hour. I feel like, oh, rubber chicken on deck. That's a beautiful thing. I've been doing watching a lot of Brandmeier clips again. So the top of the hour business is fresh in my head to phrase things that way. Part one, exactly. Let me say that Deadpool and Wolverine, right? There was a time where, in a world where it made complete sense for Hugh Jackman to retire the character, as he and Patrick Stewart had a mutual swan song, a mutual exit from the franchise together. But then in a world where the world changed, going back to the Ryan Reynolds comments earlier from the
Oh yeah.
comment section, well, he's also Canadian. And so, you know who else is Canadian? Jim Howlett. You know who else is Jim Howlett? Logan Wolverine. So I, I, I think again they just left themselves such a great opportunity and the doors are wide open. Like I don't know how there can be a down minute in that movie. I think it's just all the ingredients are coming together. It lends itself to success. And I expect Wolverine and Deadpool to be again a high octane, a start to finish, a top notch picture to partake in.
Just for the cameos alone, I'm all in. I'm all in for it. I'm all in for it. Logan was a good capstone to the Wolverine, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, but to do it in this way, to finally get the outfit, to have a bit of redemption after X-Men Origins, right? Yeah, I'm all in for that. Completely agree with that one being top of mind. Oh, we got a couple more yeah, the Warrior movie would be cool. Yeah, so I just restarted doing that. I got a little bit far into season 1 and I just sort of stopped watching, honestly. And then I jumped into like season 3 and I was lost. I was completely lost. So I've started over and I'm loving every minute. I'm really enjoying it on Netflix for sure. Yeah, okay. Well, and thank you, Star G. Appreciate that. Yeah, okay. Well, think about
Mandarin called it, then we're gonna have to make it happen.
yeah, no, and yes, please do us a favor, hit the like and hit the subscribe on both this channel as well as Mr. C Dives In. Oh, is there no Juggernaut though? Is that right? I have not heard that.
I don't know one way or the other, but I want to say nothing stops the unstoppable Juggernaut. So how do you keep the Juggernaut off the screen when he is, in fact, the unstoppable Juggernaut? So that might be a false lead right there. Cutting promos, the unstoppable Juggernaut.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up here. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Whether you were here live or you're watching later, thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it. And do us a favor, join us on Mr. C Dives In at 5 p.m. Central Time today, just 18 minutes from now. So we got to wrap this thing up. Thanks so much, Mr. C. It's always a pleasure. Thanks for being here.
See you real soon.
All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Take care. This has been the Fanboy Cantina.
Get your snacks.